All right, guys, let's welcome in to the Block Party preview. I'm your host, Mike Wahle. Thanks for watching. Eagles game. We got 2.5-point favorites for the Packers. It's going to be a really interesting football game. Packers need to win coming off that Panthers loss. Obviously, the Eagles had a huge day and then a bye week, huge day against the Giants and then a bye week. They seem to be gaining momentum. It'll be interesting to kind of break down this tape with you guys because I don't see them playing necessarily as well on defense as they were last year, but just from a draft talent and acquisition talent standpoint, they are absolutely phenomenal. Giving up 23 points a game, good for 19th in the league, 4.4 yards per rush, good for 23rd in the league. They just have a couple guys inside who's just going to be a problem if they decide to show up motivated. The problem, I guess, for the Eagles is you don't know what you're going to get from snap to snap. It's not quite the same as that championship run where every single snap it just felt like there was problems. They did bring in Jalen Phillips. They are getting Nolan Smith back. So they do have even more, like a bigger wealth of talent to play with up front. The secondary is going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of plays open in the secondary. I'll show you why I think that and some of the coverages we can exploit and take advantage of. Offensively, the Eagles do a lot of stuff that, quite frankly, I wish we were doing as a Packer fan or an ex-Packer player. They had 276 yards rushing against the Giants. Barkley and Tank Bigsby are both absolute speed merchants. They're averaging 26 points a game. They're top 10 in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts is playing well. They've got a wealth of talent outside. You got Goddard, you got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got Saquon in the backfield, you got a multiple All-Pros on the offensive line. Like, this is a very good football team. What I want you to watch is let's pick up some of the key things that they're doing and they've done to improve what was really a stagnant team from a rushing perspective for the last couple of weeks going into maybe the Giants game, maybe the week before, but not producing at the same level. A lot of guys that kind of thought that maybe all their stuff was quote unquote figured out. They've added some wrinkles, some things that I think we'd be really good at and could execute at a high level. Let's check out this tape. We'll get back to you at the end. Okay, we take a look at the Philly defense and everything starts up front. I just got dudes up here. Jalen Carter, Jalen Phillips just came over from Miami. Obviously Jordan Davis. I mean, they've got some guys up front. Zach Braun is obviously had an all-pro year last year, coming off some relative obscurity, but these guys are a little bit vulnerable on the backside, but pass rush wins. They had 5 sacks last week going against the Giants, and they're going to run a lot of, at least starting 2 high shell. They will go and run some quarters. They'll run quarter, half, and they'll also end up running some 3 and some man. But really, their base defense is going to be out of a 2 high shell. They have the pass rush to get home, so they have the luxury of not having to bring extra. Now they will bring guys and they'll bring pressure, and when they do, they have a lot of success. They had a lot of success against the New York Giants. Dart was running for his life, but the flip side of that is if you have time, you can pick these guys apart. There's some gaping holes in their defense in the secondary. It's just kind of fun to watch the athleticism of the guys inside. And I think, to be honest with you, I don't think they're playing as well as they did last year. I don't know that Jalen Carter's having the kind of dominant season that he had last year, but you just watch it from the perspective of, how well a 320-pound guy moves. And this guy, he just moves different than other people. When he gets kind of a burr up his ass, watch out, man. He's a real load to handle. Zach Braun is having another great season. He's just a good, smart, heady football player. Watch how they play this on the backs on the second level. He's extremely patient. The kind of destruction that the arm over here causes, these 2 guards or guard and tackle start fighting against one another, really frees up these linebackers to make plays. Bringing over Jalen Phillips was big. They're going to get Nolan Smith back, I think, this week as well. So he obviously had that big Super Bowl where he knocked out the left guard on the pull, amongst other things. That's obviously being a left guard. It's the most memorable thing I remember. But they've got some dudes now. You see it again with Zach Braun. Am I saying that name wrong? Bond, maybe. But just a really heady player. Scatterboo. Scatterboo's a stud, man. I miss him not being playing on Sundays. It's terrible. So you think that these guys are going to maybe bring this down on the rotation. The truth is they're just going to play too higher. They can afford to play too high against that box. So they're playing 6-man box against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, call it 7. They're happy to run that, 8, 9 really, right? If you got a quarterback who can run. They're happy to run that 6-man box just because of the talent they got up front. Just not a lot going. 12 personnel. Got a Twins look out here. This is where I think there's just opportunities. So you see they're going to run a little bit of man here on the bottom. We get this little route. Oh, come on, Mike. Get this little route combination here. We're going to play this down, have to play over the top, so you got the space here. I want you to also watch up top here. They're running with 2 tight ends with a release. They go flat and stay deep, and this guy just ends up wide-ass open in the post. I don't know if the safety's supposed to drive. I doubt it. I think they just made an error. But there are guys open all over the board here. You see when this guy throws the football, I mean, there's nothing there. If you can identify that early on, you're in great shape. There's just a lot of these kind of plays on film. And these are division opponents, know each other really well, so makes you feel good about our passing offense for sure. Okay, so the Eagles are going to bring some pressure here, which leaves Scadaboo on their outside linebacker. He's just going to run the wheel. They're going to clear this out, clear the safety in the corner, and he's actually going to overplay this, and he's going to get undercut for the touchdown. And, this is, otherwise they have great leverage here by the linebacker, talking about the linebacker on the running back. These are the opportunities that you have, and these are the opportunities you have to hit on if you want to be successful against this team. This is one of those teams. This is the base of it all of, hey, bend but don't break. These guys are, kind of middle of the road in points and yards allowed and this and that, and they're playing better now, as is the entire team. But these guys from the 20 to the 20, you can move generally speaking, you've always been able to move the football. They don't think you're going to be able to get in the red zone and score touchdowns. You have to take advantage of these opportunities. These guys are number 1 in offense at scoring in the red zone, so we have to match that, obviously, with our play selection and execution. So just a little sim pressure there, dropping it in, bringing a linebacker, and you get some wide-ass open look. 1st and 10 play with a bunch look up top. Put you in a 5-man box. I put this play in because it's the worst play in football. I've been talking about it all year. This play I just absolutely hate. Here we go. We'll just check it out from this side. So, if you're a Green Bay fan, you've seen this. We're going to run horizontal and give ourselves an opportunity to cut. These guys are going to try to stretch. You're trying to stretch against some guys inside that are really, really good at football. Here we go. And nothing. So let's take that one out this week. So this is an interesting look. So they're going to go 2x2 tight end attached. And they're just going to rock all these safeties and just try to rob the middle. Play single safety high. They're going to match this, and because you're really going to have your 3rd man out. They're going to match this on the high side here and leave this tight end open for the corner route. And the way they do it is because they bring down, so we have leverage, he bounces outside. This corner comes in and is not playing thirds. Again, these are, whether they're kind of exotic coverages or something I'm just not smart enough to figure out. You don't see too many defenses that put themselves in this situation where you bring down this safety in the middle, this corner hugs in and allows a tight end to run past him for a corner route. These are opportunities in the game, though, that if they arise, these are big plays in the passing game. Just got to be able to get the ball off. 2nd quarter, you got a 3rd and 6 play. See the corners are tight on the top of the screen. Same idea over here, where you can see that it's man coverage. Here, so they're just going to run like a little pick, wheeling out. Really seeing if you can get the ball here before the safety, but I want you to see, I think we take this deep here. And some of these plays I put in, whether they were receptions or not, but if you're throwing the football right here on a 50, you have options. You're really just reading this guy. You've won here. If you got your middle linebacker running with your running back, you feel good about that matchup. Obviously, they're trying to take this away. A lot of the deep crosser stuff on the blind side. They got 3 down here. The rotation, you got the check down. But there are opportunities here in the passing game. Like, in other words, if he goes, this guy's done. And they'll run a lot of poach stuff on the backside as well. When you go 3 to a side on like an empty look, there's just opportunities in this passing game. Got their 2 high. Again, they think they can get home with 4. They walk up 17. Maybe they're going to bring a pressure. Four, and they poach this. So you got 1-on-1 on the backside here. Again, some of these plays, I'm not necessarily saying that these are completion plays, but you do have your 1-on-1 matchup. This safety's looking over here. They do this a lot, especially on like 3rd and 4th and long. They want to trap that crossing route off the 3 to a side. And again, the real issue here is they're able to get pressure. There are plays to be made. I don't know that these guys play on the inside. I don't know that they play hard every rep. I think they take some plays off. It certainly is apparent here. But if they get going, if they're motivated, tough ball game. Okay, same thing with the wheel route. We see it again. I'll show you from the start. We've got this tight split here, and they're going to clear it, and they're just going to run this wheel. And really, you're just looking at this backside safety, and you see this backside safety is going to take a look at the 3-man side. They do this a lot, and so you have this 1-on-1 look up the sideline. Plays to be made. Now, this game was, this turned into a throw fest. Obviously, it got out of hand early because the Philadelphia offense just went nuts. But there are plays in the passing game to be made. They go 3 to a side. They're moving around Jalen Carter. He goes back and forth again, then hops over again. So we got 3 to a side. And this is where I think they cause a lot of trouble. Last year when these guys were hitting, it was just a perfect marriage of good defensive secondary play and then just amazing pressure here. And this is kind of what they want to create. It's just complete havoc. Run a little TT stunt there. Anytime your guard's on his ass like this, it's usually a bad sign. A lot of draft talent up front, man. A lot of draft talent up front.
Hey friends, Andy Herman here. Time to get our sleeper picks in for this upcoming Sunday. And I'm going with the international game, which is always fun, but it's always a little bit more exciting when you add some sleeper picks on top of it. Tried a little different philosophy this week. I'm excited about it. We're going Michael Penix, longest completion, greater than 33.5 yards. Darnell Mooney, longest reception, greater than 17.5 yards. And Tyler Warren, longest reception, fewer than 19.5 yards. I'm excited about this one. Get your picks in over at Sleeper. And the best part is that you can get a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Again, a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing that code PACKADAY. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper for details. Available in over 25 states nationwide. So what are you waiting for? Get your Sleeper picks in today. Hey friends, Andy Herman here. Before we get back to Mike Wahle, who is absolutely amazing, by the way, just shout out to Mike for all these incredible film breakdowns coming on with the live Q&A on Mondays. And then of course, with our regular podcast as well. If you haven't checked those out yet, make sure to do so. But before we get back to Mike, just want to shout out our 2 sponsors for today's show. First of all, Luigi's Frozen Pizzas. If you haven't checked these out yet, what are you waiting for? A little bit of buzz, by the way, that there's going to be some news around Luigi's Pizza. So keep an eye out for that. The best way to do so is to follow them on social media media at Luigi's Pizza, and make sure you're checking out luigispizza.com as well. You can see their whole line of pizzas, also the store locator, so you can find the Luigi's Pizza nearest to you. Find them in your local grocer in the freezer section. They're absolutely delicious. You're going to want to get a bunch and celebrate our Victory Mondays right alongside of me by enjoying a delicious Luigi's frozen pizza. Also, Alchemy Wealth Management, retirewithryan.net. This is a unbelievable offer. You get to go to their website, retirewithryan.net, and for free, do one of two things. Either download all the great materials they have for you to just on your own help you with your financial future, or what I highly recommend, set up that free consultation with Ryan. He's going to help you on your retirement journey, on your financial journey, wherever you are at with your walk, whether that be near retirement, retired already, or just starting to think about it. Wherever you are at, he's going to be able to help you. Check it out over at retirewithryan.net. Ryan Nelson, Alchemy Wealth Management. Cannot recommend it enough. And a huge thank you to Ryan for partnering with us and also providing that free service to all of our viewers. Now it is time to get back to the one and only Mike Wahle.
This is a 4th and 11 play. I think it's the last one I'll show. And it's the same idea. They've got their 3 to a side. So on the trip side, when they got this 2 shell, oftentimes they're going to try to poach this backside and try to hit that crosser, and you got this one-on-one look up top. Now they win here for a big play. Again, everything has to work out well, but you just know that you have this in your back pocket. They go up to that 3 to the side look again, and they end up running the TT the other way. Just throws it up. Guy makes a good play. We'll look at it just from right after post snap here. But you can just see in this backside safety, his eyes go to the 3-man side almost immediately. So from a quarterback's vision standpoint, as soon as you see this, you know you've got the one-on-one here. Especially if you entice that safety by running some sort of middle route or some sort of basic or crosser route. But as you're building out that game plan, obviously, maybe you put Christian Watson over there and you go, okay, we're gonna keep running him on goes. He's gonna win and we'll see what happens. All right, this is the second play of the game, guys, and I think the Packers can really take, honestly, I'd love to see them start thinking about some of the ways that the Philly offense has gone about improving their running game, which hasn't been up to standard for the first half of the season. Now they've lost Mekhi Becton in free agency, the right guard. I don't think they're as strong there. Cam Jurgens has been out at center. He was an all-pro last year replacing Kelsey. I don't think they're as strong there, but this is a great offensive line. We talked about it. They've got Saquon Barkley at running back. They've got Dallas Goedert at tight end. They've got AJ Smith. They've got AJ Brown. They got Devontae Smith, and they got Jalen Hurts. I mean, these guys are loaded at the skill positions. This is one of the best built offenses in the National Football League from a talent standpoint alone. But they've made a couple adjustments recently. Maybe the first of which is something we talked about. They got a monster in there as a 6 offensive lineman. Okay? So they're running a jumbo 12 look. And they're just going to run, they're just going to go, hey, we're bigger than you everywhere, and we're just going to start moving bodies. They get a great double on the backside with Donovan. Linebacker comes up, ends up getting pinned, and we're going to go here, bounce the backside, and you got a lead speed and open space. Everybody wants it. Second play of the game. You just see the push, and this is kind of what we're talking about. How do you have success in the National Football League running the football? You get a surge here, you're even there. You get a surge here, you're even there. Backside's relatively easy to block, right? Put these linebackers in a position where they don't know where to go. Great cut, and he's gone. That'll take it out of you real fast. Look at it from this angle. As good as 97 is, this stalemate at the right guard position, and you're going to get this kind of movement and pin this linebacker backside. Fantastic. Barkley's making his cut when he wants to make it. And then 27, I mean, there's no chance. No chance against a guy with that kind of talent. Okay, we got under center look again. They've got their big bodies in. Now this is Tank Bigsby. We talked about it. Extra offensive lineman, right? Just changing things up a little bit, giving guys something new to think about. And what does it do? Just watch it from this end. We'll show it from the end zone, but it completely collapses this block and just creates way too much space for these linebackers to figure out where he's going to go. Corner gets sucked inside a little bit. Another 20-yard pickup. These are all like first, second quarter plays, guys. I didn't even have to go. I mean, it gets out of hand in the third and fourth, but you just watch it from this end. They go into an under front, talking about the Giants. And then Lane Johnson, 74, man, just absolutely crushed that guy. They don't even have to get to the linebacker. Because once you create this kind of movement, you've just got options. First and 10 play, really like a 22 personnel look. Under center. They ran a ton of in cuts here. Smith runs them as well as anybody. And when you've had success early, and this is what they've done really well, is your under center play action. Look how they suck up these linebackers here and here, leaving this space wide open. Cannot cover from 10 yards off the football, full head of steam for a guy who runs a 4.2, 4.3 like Devontae Smith. Just not going to happen. Got to be disciplined. Got to see it with your eyes. Whew. Just really, really tough look for those linebackers. Not to mention, bringing the fullback out of the backfield really occupies 53. Just a really well-designed play, honestly. All right, 2x2. Gun. Screen game. Athletic offensive line. See how tight they run this screen game. Talking about Saquon. Just right outside the hash. Right down the alley. Putting a guy in space. You got those vertical threats outside. Everyone's playing off. Really tough team to defend, man. But it all starts with their ability to run and run early. Got a 4th and 3 play, 2x2. They sim 5, bring 4. And this is the other thing. How are you going to deal with Jalen Hurts' ability to scramble? Extend the play, whether it's behind the line of scrimmage making a throw, whether it's just finding the avenue here, really getting out an arm tackle, getting past the sticks. Are you going to spy? Can you spy? Do you have to spy with the defensive lineman? Is it going to be with Quay Walker? How are you going to run this? It's very, very difficult. We come back in the second quarter. They're going under center with their 22 personnel. And they just get with another in cut. Why do we talk about, whether it's the jumbo package, 22 personnel, why we were harping on that all week as far as maybe something for the Packers to look at. You can't see them, but there's just a single safety back here. Everybody's up at the line of scrimmage. And if you're in, you've got a fullback coming out that really occupies this player. So why do you like it? Because if you've got fast players or good route runners, they're going to win one-on-one. You can't cover a guy across the field. It's just too hard in the National Football League. You just see it again, little in cut. He's wide open, yards after catch. Gets 10 extra yards. Is it big plays? And it's just you're putting him in that situation, defining the defense by the personnel you want to run and having success running the football early. Now, this is where, the Packers got a plan for this. This is the one that was real controversial. I'll just show it one time. This play is it's part of the rules. It's fantastic, but we obviously want to get this under control. I'm sure Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff right there are showing that play and saying, look, if he's going to stretch, he stretches. That's a free ball right now. You should be able to tear that away. Hopefully they make that adjustment in the ref box or booth. They go gun. And they put Goddard out here on the two-man side, freed up, so they're going to play man defense. They're playing zero. No safety in the back. Everyone's manned up. And so you just feel good about Dallas Goedert as a receiving tight end versus your safety. And, Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, man. He just can't. 53 tries to bail and hit the slant. They do a good job, I think, with Devontae Smith of just showing him a little bit right there, talking about right there on 53. Just giving a little something to think about. So this window's open. Good throw and catch. He's lining up in a space where he could go to the corner as well. These guys are really, really good. Like when they're on, they're on. Second and 5, third quarter. Got a tight end in position. He can pass block. He can go backside with the split flow. A lot of options from here. And they just do kind of a split flow release to put him in the flat where he disappears. Love these kind of plays. What am I talking about? You bring him through and back here. Tough to keep tabs on him when that happens. He disappears in behind the line. They end up just throwing another in cut. Life is a lot easier. Life is a lot easier when you're running the football. Pass rush isn't as good. Linebackers are playing a little bit aggressive. Got a 3rd and 4 here. It's already 21-10. Second quarter. Isolate one of your fastest players. First and 10 under center. Just in 12 personnel. Show the little wrinkle here. This is something that we've talked about. This is something that we talked about on the show before. Hey, let's get back to the pin and pull. We've got a real athletic right tackle as well. So they've done this a couple times in this game where we're going to get a down block and a pull. We're going to get a down block and a pull. Okay? And it hopefully cuts the defense here, gives your running back. Both teams have a fantastic running back. An open lane. He's not touched for 20 yards. Now this is a 2nd and 26 play. So obviously deep safeties, the whole thing. But I put this in just to show, Tank Bigsby comes in like he's pretty good too. You can't sleep. This isn't one of those Saquon goes out, you just feel good about yourself. The difference, and he makes a good cut. But instead of running that zone where we're getting kind of washed here, they feel like they're getting washed as well. So instead, they pin and pull. Now, this isn't a play you do every single time. But if you do that and he widens, or this guy rips inside, now from here you can go back. Obviously, you're one-on-one here, but they feel good about that speed. But you're making it so you're not getting flattened out here on this block. Boy, there's a lot of stuff there. They're making it so you don't get flattened out here and you get over to this point and you're like, where do I go? Right? These are just little wrinkles, little options. Every team's got them. Just got to be able to run them. Obviously, with that speed, doesn't hurt. Fourth quarter play, last one here. Just not afraid to throw a contested ball. Trusting your receivers. Not the best throw in the world. Guy goes up and makes a play. And this is really what, this is what makes that team dangerous. When you got an A.J. Brown, you got a Devontae Smith, you got a Dallas Goedert, all guys can go make plays for you in the passing game. And then you got an all-pro at running back. You got, really multiple all-pros on the offensive line. Like this is a very, very good offense. All right, so as you can see, I think there's a ton of stuff that you'd love to have the Packers maybe adopt from the Eagles playbook. Looking at, there's a team that was struggling running the football, and traditionally a good running team, has a great running back, good wide receivers, good offensive line, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And adding a couple wrinkles, whether it's the pin and pull stuff, whether it's adding an extra offensive lineman, whether it's doing some more of the interior fold blocking, just giving different looks so we're not always getting washed down, spread out, et cetera, et cetera. So I love that stuff. You can see this is a very, very talented team. The Packers are going to be playing next week. This is going to be a good matchup. I know that we're 2.5-point favorites. Right now, if the Eagles are going to play like they did against the Giants, granted the Giants aren't quite the Green Bay Packers, But that is a very, very competitive football team with a talented roster that just won a Super Bowl. So if they're starting to ramp up, man, this game's going to get more and more difficult. I'm always interested to see how we respond to a little bit of adversity, some questions maybe around, what is the makeup, what is the toughness, et cetera, of this team? Or we do have the ability to move people off the spot and run the football. I think like all those questions we can really take a hard look at this week because you're playing against a great offensive and defensive line, very, very physical at the point of attack. But there's certainly holes to be exploited in their secondary. And I think we can be able to take advantage of some of the stuff with Jalen Hurts holding the football for as long as he does. So, of course, you have to get him to the ground. But hey, listen, guys, thanks for watching these. Subscribe, rate, and review. Hit the like button. Keep hitting me back with the comments. You'll find this show on the Process to Perform channel and, of course, the Pack a Day podcast channel. Thank you again to those guys for putting you on their platform. Have a great one. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week.